Coach, just talk about the transition thus far. Has it been a difficult transition, or is it just a couple knick-knacky administrative things that now that you are the head coach and Coach House has stepped aside for a year?
Well, I think most of the things that I do right now, I did for 21 years, and that is oversee the defense, and I'm not going to get away from that completely. I have a tremendous amount of confidence in the guys that coach offense, Glenn Hunt and Todd Garvin and all those guys. They've been here a period of time, and I know Don leaned heavily on them, and I'm going to continue to do so. I want to treat those guys just like Don treated me, and that is he never interfered with anything I wanted to do defensively. Just go out there and stop him and get him the ball, and that's what he wanted, and that's what we tried to do. But there's certainly administrative things that have to be done that I have not been concerned with. My concern is what's best for this football program, what's best for this football team, what's best for these football players. And if I have to do additional things, whether it be for a season or for whatever length of time, I'm certainly willing to do that. Because I've been here 21 years, and the reason I'm here is because I love this community and I love the school, and we all love this football team.
The knick-knacky things of if it's 4th and 2 in the fourth quarter, who makes that call? Is it ultimately going to be your call, or is it a offense is offense, defense is defense, and you're with defense? Or do you just approach it when you get to that point?
We'll approach it when we get to that point, but I think the critical thing is that in critical situations, I think Glenn will ask. If he doesn't, I have no problem. If it's a real critical situation, I'm sure I'll be right there talking with him, and not that I maybe will make the ultimate decision, but just the fact that we're on the same page.
How important was it that you were able to kind of coach a game Saturday where it wasn't Coach House with the Neville matchup, all that kind of stuff? Just talk about how that went, and do you feel like the kids are transitioning to where this is what it's going to be like come fall?
Well, I really don't see a lot of difference whether Don is out there on the sideline or not. From the standpoint that, again, offensively, those guys have been doing it a long time. Don at times had input in the offense. He very seldom had input in the defense. So basically, it's just a matter of working hard, and our kids work extremely hard. The heart of our program is what occurs in that weight room with Coach Sanders and Todd Garvin and those Mickey Easterling, those guys that are in that weight room. They're with them 12 months out of the year, and they do a great job of disciplining and getting our guys ready to play and getting stronger and faster and all those things that football players need to do. So when it comes time to practice, again, it helps that most of us have been here together a long time. We don't have a lot of arguments. We're all on the same page. Everybody's hooked up to the same wagon. And what can we do to help this football team? Whether it's look at guys that have played offense last year, and we're looking at them some on defense, or vice versa. We took Greg Eccles, and as a sophomore, Greg was a fullback. He started at Mike linebacker last year. This spring, we put him back at fullback for the majority of the spring, just to get him polished up, get him buffed up, and he's one of those guys that probably will play some both ways. And there's other guys that's going to get the opportunity to play some. Joe Michael Pleasant has played both offensive and defensive line for us this year, and probably will continue to. But, the main thing is that we're all on the same page, and what's best for this football team, that's what we're going to do.
But do you feel like the kids are, haven't missed a beat? It's just, there's no Coach House just said, the kids haven't missed a beat. Do you feel like this transition has been okay for the kids and the players?
Well, I wouldn't want to listen and say that Don doesn't make a difference on that sideline. But, I can't see any difference. Whoever's out there, as long as we're continuing doing what we've been doing, we haven't changed the offense, hadn't changed the defense. The guys that coach them are the guys that has been coaching them for a long period of time, and we just keep on rolling.
spring game, obviously, if you talk to the players, they're always going to be, it was good to hit somebody else that wasn't in my uniform. How did you think your team did, and do you feel like, we're still a ways away, but that's what the summer and fall practice is for, or just what did you feel like the team did well, and stuff that we still need to continue to work on after the game against Neville?
Well, we're replacing we lost 9 defensive starters. And then we moved Greg Eccles from Mike Backert. He'd spent most of his time at fullback this spring, so really we looked at looking for 10 different new guys to play. We have a few with a little of experience last year that were non-starters. But overall, I thought our kids played extremely hard. We probably had 7 good days of practice in the 10 that we had, 7 good long days, and we moved guys around at several different positions. We're always searching for linebackers and guys that can play that position, and we tried a bunch of them. We played a bunch of them in the scrimmage. But overall, I was pleasantly surprised probably at the way we played on both sides of the ball. Just looking at Neville on the hoof, to me they're as good a looking team that I've ever seen Neville put out on the field, and they'll be very, very competitive in 4A, and we know that. They're well coached, good athletes, and I'm proud of what our kids went out there and did. And we've got a great deal of work to do this summer, and our kids will work to get to the point that we need to be when the season rolls around.
I know when I talked to Coach Shouse, when I said the biggest thing with Cam was we got to get him to not care more, but play with more intensity. Are you starting to see that? And did you see that in the spring game, that he had that nastiness that maybe y'all were looking for?
Well, to tell you the truth, I have not looked at the offensive film, but I did see some good things that he's doing, and I'm really leading up to the spring game. He has worked extremely hard in the weight room. A lot of lifts that he's just about double the number of reps that he could do back in January, February, whenever he came out of basketball. So he's increased his strength a great deal, and as he does that, he'll get better and better.
Okay, sorry about that. What's the approach? I know when I was talking to Coach Shouse, it was arguably he's got the chance to be the highest rated recruit, and arguably has the chance to be the best player to come out of the school. What's the approach of, especially with your experience with Will, that you can give him in terms of when players come to their coach for advice? Coach, I'm thinking about this, or what should I do here? What's the approach, and how do you handle his recruitment? Because you're his head coach now. So how do you handle the recruitment, and what will your philosophy be?
Well, I think the thing that we all encourage recruits of Cam's caliber is try to remember that the most important thing that you're doing is going through your senior year of high school. That's as much fun as you're ever going to have. A lot of people are going to want to talk to you. A lot of people are going to want your time. And the advice we give them is you pick 2, no more than 3 schools, and out of that, we'll help protect you. You pick 2 or 3 that you like, and as early and as soon as you can, you decide where you want to go, and you make that decision, and then we'll help keep these other teams, other schools away from you.
I know Coach Shouse said in an ideal world, he would commit before the season started. While you're not forcing him to do anything, is that what you would like to do to where he can enjoy that senior year? Take your visits, and then before the school year starts, make your commitment, and then we will protect you, like what you just said?
That would be my preference, but it's not. I don't have the control over that. That's strictly Cam's decision. All I can do, and all we can do, is give him advice. What we would do, what I tell my own grandson, or did tell him, or whatever. Because it's a pretty wild game out there when they start this recruiting.
What do you learn that you can maybe some wisdom that you can give to him from watching and being a witness to everything that happened with Will? What did you learn that maybe you can give him to where he didn't know it because he hasn't gone through this yet?
Well, I've had the opportunity to look at both sides of it. I coached in college for 19 years, and I recruited a lot, and most of those years, and you look at it from both sides. From a kid's standpoint, to be honest with you, I don't want him to waste his time with me as a college recruiter if he's not interested in going to my school. I'd much rather him tell me, hey, I'm going to such and such, my mind's made up, one of these two schools, and that's it. He's going to save my time, he's going to save himself time, and I think that's the way you should be handled.